Recently, Mo Farah broke the 1 hour world record on September 4th, which is an incredible accomplishment. So this time, we're going to analyze his running here. This was actually an amazing race to watch from both a physical and mental perspective. Some people tend to see just the physical side, like the pace he ran at, which was already quite impressive, but I was also particularly interested in the way he ran it. To keep this simple, the first 5 kilometers went smoothly with pacing going according to plan. However, soon after the 5K split, the pacemakers started dropping off, which was much earlier than expected as this was occurring at the 15-minute mark rather than around the 30-minute mark. And things were not looking good a little past the 30-minute mark as well, as the pace was slowing down and was getting behind world record pace. I always appreciate these moments because this really puts the athlete to the test. Now, during the last fourth of the race, he started picking up speed and catching up to the world record breaking pace again. Then during the last minute, he does what he is known for and finishes the 1 hour with a strong finish, sealing the deal. Now that we have some context on this race, let's go over some of his running mechanics. This specific clip takes place during the very last portion of the race, as he does this during the final kick. He is also coming off a corner or curve. It is important to keep these into consideration as they can affect the way you run, as running mechanics can change throughout the race depending on the moment. This clip will be interesting to look at as we can see how he moves when he's more fatigued. Now at this moment, he is running at a step rate or cadence of around 180 steps per minute. This is a step rate more commonly seen with elite athletes running long distance races, which is the case here. Now typically, as you get fatigued, you end up running at an even lower step rate, but that's not the case here, and he seems to be finishing the race strong. Now, the next thing we will look at is the way his foot lands. Here he seems to present with more of a midfoot to rear foot landing. This kind of landing is also more typically seen in elite long distance runners. This is interesting to see as this is a bit different to what is seen when he runs the 5K on the track with more of a midfoot pattern. Anyway, this kind of landing distributes forces more around the knee and less on the calf region. Now, let's move on to the foot position relative to the body. Now it's hard to get the exact measurements as the camera angle is slightly to the side, but here he seems to present with a shank angle of around 4 degrees. This is something I take a look at not only to indicate whether or not someone is overstriding, but also because most elite athletes seem to present with more of a shank angle that is more perpendicular to the ground. For Mo Farah, he seems to look good here and further indicates he is not overstriding, which can cause decreased efficiency when running. Next, we will look at the vertical bounce, and here is what makes Mo Farah a bit unique. He presents with more of a spring-like pattern with more of a vertical bounce. Now theoretically, people want to minimize the vertical bounce seen as you want more force directed forward rather than upward. However, in this case, this style works for him and is not something I'd prioritize to change. The way he runs may be the way his body most optimally produces force to produce the results he has. Now, let's move on to the arm swing. Here he presents with an appropriate arm swing for this relative intensity pace. He also presents with high arm carriage. While this may be a bit more unique, there is a lot of variation of arm swing throughout runners. In distance running, I don't really mind too much how it looks as long as it helps efficiently counteract rotational forces coming from the legs. Finally, let's look at the head. And here he presents with a relatively neutral head position, which is fine. Overall, Mo Farah is an incredible athlete who possesses great physical and mental qualities, which is something world class. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching.